Hi, this is Trivial Punk.
And this is Boris the Illithid.
We're playing Dark Souls, which was my idea, and I don't feel good about it because I'm bad at this game. Boris is pretty good, so he's going to play first.
Alright. Let's see, what are we going to be making today?
I think, well, you've never played a face-based character.
That's correct.
And I haven't played anything more than a mage I started that got a Black Knight sword, and then it wasn't even a character, it was just me smashing things with a Black Knight sword.
Fair enough.
Let's do Faith.
Alright, so we need to name this person.
Oh, jeez. It's a loud-ass keyboard. Alright, we're going to be silent for about 3 seconds while we type in the name, because I edited out the sound of the keyboard clacking.
Fair enough.
Let's just call it Boris. Boris. Knee smasher. That's not how you spell words. Knee smasher. How about that?
Alright. I'm good with whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so our character shall be Knee Smasher.
The cleric.
Cleric.
Well, what do you expect? We have a mace. We can't cut people.
Alright.
Goddess.
For gift, I suppose people will probably just yell at us if we don't take Master Key.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty silly of us not to.
Let's make him... How silly shall we do?
What, does it actually, like, change anything, or is it just...
No, it's purely cosmetic.
Oh, good. Let's do that guy.
Alright.
Fat cleric
Shall be
with
very
big
large.
head. Very large.
Alright. What
Wait,
shall
go
we
up.
go with?
Known for being clerics.
Fair enough.
There we go.
He looks a little bit pissed.
Yeah, well, you know.
Like he might start smashing knees or something.
That's how we got his name. It's not how he fights. He's just really ornery.
Fair enough. I'm gonna give him a ponytail.
Alright, sounds good.
And... we'll just give him, like, dark brown hair because I'm boring.
Okay. That looks good.
Alright.
Our character also looks boring. I don't know how he's going to live.
Knee Smasher. Begin your journey.
Alright.
In the age
So,
of ancients, the world
cutscene.
was
The
unfolded,
world was shrouded by fog.
shrouded by fog.
How'd I know what you're gonna say?
Crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons.
You know, I don't know if I've ever watched this cutscene.
That's an interesting mix of things. Holes in the ground, big-ass trees, and also dragons.
There was fire, and with fire came disparity.
Is this like a Greek myth?
Basically.
Or are we making fun of capitalism? I have no idea where we are.
Life and death, and of
We're
course,
at the center of the earth.
light and dark.
Ooh.
Then from the dark they came.
I find it hard to believe that there was dragons before there was fire.
Within
Well, at least, like, that fire wasn't there right after.
Exactly.
Like, centuries later there was fire.
I love this guy. I was kind of
Yeah.
disappointed by his boss fight because he looks so cool.
He's got a really cool character design.
Yeah, I love him. I don't want to fuck with that guy. I don't even want to talk to that guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I kind of feel like his teeth
Yeah.
would eat my
the
face.
daughters of chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight,
He doesn't look
and his
happy.
faithful knights,
Yeah.
You know what I never actually understood?
and the furtive pygmy, so
What are they
easily
doing?
forgotten.
Like you have all these knights and stuff, right?
Yeah.
What is their plan?
With the strength
Um,
of lords,
I guess they fight the dragons.
Yeah. You're gonna fuck some dragons up. Basically. But, I mean, mostly Gwyn will.
Because he's Thor. So let's
Also, these dragons are, like, stone. For reasons.
well, I mean, if you're gonna have something that's hard to kill, it might as well be made out of stone.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's burnable. By Great Firestorm.
I mean, so is flesh.
Yeah, but
I love this. Like, look at
Yeah.
that. How do you fuck with that?
The scales betrayed
I haven't.
I can't help but just like get grossed out every time I look at this guy.
His life.
He's like slimy and just
It kind of must suck to not have scale. You're kind of like not having
his
scale.
lower half is just like I've decided to be a tentacle blob. I used to have legs, but nah,
Yeah,
it's
what
too
do you-
boring.
I wasn't even doing anything with those legs.
Basically, I mean, he had wings.
of fire.
I guess that's why there weren't any fire after the dragons, because they're all made out of stone.
Yeah, it's true. That seems like boring dragons. Good thing they all died.
Flames will
Yep.
fade.
So let's see. Okay, so the king was Thor, and the dragons were the elementals or the titans. So that makes us humans with the fire thing.
I think you mean Zeus, not Thor.
You know what I mean. Shut up! I mixed up my mythology. No one heard that.
I guess that makes the furtive pygmy Prometheus.
Yeah, I guess, and I think that's who we are. We're like the reincarnation of the pygmy.
I don't even know if that's. The pygmy just does what he wants.
I guess. I mean, they could just be like metaphoric signs. Like the fire came. Like not literally like they didn't have fire, but like because they had knights in armor, right?
Yeah.
Wait, I guess that was after the fire.
Yeah. Where did all those people come from? Was there like a smith, just like
Making people.
making armor for all these knights? He's just like, I know you were all just born, but I need you to build me an army.
Yeah.
It's like, Gwyn, you're an asshole. I've
What's
been
an
alive
army?
5 seconds. He threw a hammer at me and said, "Get to work."
I don't even know. I don't know what an army is. I don't.
And
know
the
what
dragons
armor
are just
is.
like, ugh, we can't be bothered.
We're not.
We'll let them do what they want.
Just.
Oh, Jesus, they're chasing us with lightning.
I mean, honestly, we have to look like ants to them. I mean, really. I mean,
Yeah, until we start hurling lightning bolts.
yeah, they probably weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
Like, just imagine if you went to a colony of like ants and you're like walking by and you're like, haha, stupid ants, you're all tiny. And then suddenly a giant bolt of lightning just shot up there from one ant and killed like your friend.
That'd be upsetting.
I don't know what I do.
They start unleashing a miasma of death and disease.
Well, they kind of already. I mean, the mosquitoes have that covered.
Yeah. Well, there's us.
Who sets us free again?
Random
Jago.
Oscar
Uh,
is his non-semi-canonical name.
non-semi-canonical.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say non-canonical, but then I decided to go with semi-canonical. I don't know if it's ever been confirmed what his name is, but that's what people who are lore aficionados call him.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any like lore knowledge at all.
There's a channel which I can't remember the name of, but we'll plug in the description, which has very good lore channel videos for Dark Souls. You should give them a look if you're interested.
Check the description.
Because we know nothing.
Yes.
I mean, I know enough because I watched them, but
Yeah.
that's it.
We're gonna be like sort of like, ha, what if? But we're not gonna have any actual information. Please don't. What? You have a broken sword
Yeah,
and a heal spell.
that I can't cast until I get a.
The really silly thing is that they left us in here with a master key. I don't use that. I don't.
That's true. They did give us a master key. Later, we'll come through there.
Is that person dancing?
He's worshipping.
Oh yeah, it just kind of looked like
Groveling.
dancing.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna waste any more time here.
Okay. Also, we're playing offline, so we don't have any of these hints. These are all the pre-made hints.
Yeah.
They're like, move with the control stick. You know what I always find weird? When they'll give you like tutorial hints on how to do something, but you have to have done the thing in order to get to the tutorial.
Yeah, it's like if you don't know how to move, you didn't make it across the room to there.
To get the thing that tells you how to move.
Yeah. Or if you're like, if it says like pick up item, you have to have picked up the key to get out of the room to start with.
Yeah. Or like jump and it's on a cliff. What?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of jumping off a cliff, we just tried playing Antichamber, and that shit is hard to let's play, let me tell you.
Yeah, it was like 20 minutes of us just sitting in silence with the occasional, no, I'm lost. No, I got it. No, I'm lost.
Try the green, try the blue, try the red.
Mostly the blue.
Mostly the blue.
Ah, big scary demon.
Yeah, see, I would have fought him and died first. That would have been my first instinct.
Yeah, I'm not even going to bother with that bonfire.
There's a Black Knight in here later, isn't there?
Later, yes.
East-West shield.
But which is it? East or west?
Maybe it's like a middle
Alright.
shield?
I've never been a cleric before, so I want to look at my shield first.
Oh!
Oh, it's not very good.
Maybe it's a Pacific Rim shield.
I guess so. I'm not a fan of this shield now.
No?
No, it only blocks 88% physical.
What an asshole.
Alright, mace.
Smash!
You scale B off strength. That's not bad. As many of you may have guessed, this is not my first time playing Dark Souls, though it is my first time playing the cleric.
Did you stab him with a mace?
I
Oh, okay.
bludgeoned him.
That's it's interesting. Like, I've never actually switched between the two-handed and one-handed, like, thoughtfully.
Oh.
I've done it, and, like, I need to do extra damage, and at the beginning of the fight switched, and then just never switched back. But I don't do it, like, the way I should.
I see.
Like smart people do.
Just gonna open that up for later. It's a door that can only be opened from the one side. Ah, great iron ball.
Ah!
Hit me anyways.
Yeah, I always try to dodge that, and I never get it.
Well, I could talk to this guy, but you can also just smack him, and it does essentially the same thing.
Isn't he in here later?
He's hollow later, so he'll be around trying to kill me.
Always?
Yes.
Oh, I thought he was just hollow because I killed him.
No.
Okay. That makes sense. I fucking love the Estus Flask. It's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's very handy.
Especially with the way this game is designed. I'm gonna be honest, I hated this game the first time I played it.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah. And it's not even just because it's pretty difficult. It was just because, like, I felt like I couldn't judge it fairly because, like, everyone who played it, and every time I saw a problem, people would be like, oh, that's because it's difficult. And I'd be like, well, I don't think that's a good excuse. But, I mean, the game is designed around it, so I kind of see it now that I've played it.
Yeah. So I now have the ability to
Heal.
cast my miracles.
Nice.
I wonder if there's an increased effect if you try two-handing it. Probably not.
Probably not. But you never know, I suppose. You're doing a lot of damage with this thing.
Yeah, that was a jump attack two-handing.
I know. But I was just thinking, like, just in general, like, I'm used to starting with a short sword, and it's not
I see.
It's not that good.
Yeah, the cleric seems pretty strength-oriented for being a holy man caster.
Well, I mean, look at the size of you.
It's true, I am, like, enormous.
Wow. Man.
Excellent.
It's so weird, like, going through this after you know what to do. Because I
Yeah.
remember the first time I went through there and just got trolled by that guy.
Yeah.
And this guy. Fuck this guy.
Excellent.
What?
It's a
You
good
landed
start.
on his head?
Yeah, if you do a plunging attack, it makes this fight pretty easy.
Yeah, I usually do it. I just never land on his head. Or maybe I just do when I don't.
The way I play this game may bother some people since I rarely bother with blocking and shields.
Well, I mean, as long as you make it through the fight, I don't see a reason why you should, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like the beauty of this game, is you get to play it however you want to play it.
It's true.
Like, even the character, like, creation is so cool, because it's just, like, you start out, like, this character does these things, but literally any character can do anything eventually.
Yeah.
Like, all of the New Game Plus facts I've read have all counted on you being, like, 99 in all stats.
Yeah.
Like, every skill.
Yeah, and see, that's one of the cool things. Like, I start with this talisman, but you can just later on get a talisman. You can get miracles.
Yeah.
Totally fine without having them to start.
Remember my very first playthrough, I fucked up because I accidentally... you know the pyromancer?
Yeah.
He's in that vase?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I was, like, swinging through the room, breaking the vases, and I was like, Che, a pyro... Oh, no!
Murdered him outright.
As the knives... No, it didn't murder him. It hurt him.
I see.
So he started trying to murder me.
Good times.
It was, I guess...
I found out way too late that you can actually make those people not try and kill you once
Really?
you've hit them once. There's a gentleman at the top of the bell tower
Mordred.
Oh,
after the
that
gargoyles, and he will pardon your sins, and people will stop trying to beat you to death.
guy. Oh. Yeah, I killed the pyromancer before I learned that, too.
Yeah.
That was really sad.
It's one of those things you generally don't learn on your first run.
Yep.
Until you've looked things up.
Oh, that was the significance of the guy playing the kazoo.
Hmm. Thanks, Crow.
It's a very helpful crow, quite honestly.
Yeah. It's
Do we
pretty
ever?
great.
I wonder if we ever find out what that crow does. Like,
I mean, I don't think so.
well,
I mean,
one of the cool things is, like, every time I run into something in this game, I feel like it's part of some piece of lore.
Yeah.
Or something. It just feels huge.
Alright, so...
So my main complaint, as long as we're figuring out what we're doing here, my main complaint the first time through was that, like, was just having to re-kill everything between bonfires, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah. It just got tedious because I was bad at it.
Mm.
So, like, as I was learning, it was like, go kill these ogres again. Go kill these ogres again. I was in, Blight Town.
Oh yes.
Where the
Light Town.
Yeah, where you first drop down and the ogres are there.
Yes.
That wasn't a good time for me.
Everyone's favorite place, Light Town.
The worst part is when I played it through the second time, I was like, there was a bonfire like a foot away from me the whole time.
Yes, that is the classic.
I spent like
Dark
5
Souls
hours
trolling.
I was like, I don't know.
Remembering where all the items scattered around Firelink are.
But it was like, as I started sort of playing this game through more and sort of accepting its warty flaws, I was like, wait a minute. A lot of these flaws are excused because they're like a reason. There's like a reason they're there.
Yeah, that's true.
And so even though it sort of feels like for other games it would be a flaw, for this one it sort of makes sense.
Yeah, for other games they wouldn't get away with things like traps that kill you on your first time through.
Yeah.
Without any foreknowledge. But
yeah.
This game gets away with it because if you pay super close attention, you might see, like, I don't know, a bloodstain or a
thing on the floor.
Yeah, and maybe avoid it.
Well, the problem was that when I played it through offline.
Yes, that's a big...
And so, like, I had to find every single trap the first time through.
Yes.
I've never done that before.
No?
No.
There's a whole bunch of things down here.
Yeah, I just go to the top and then roll down.
I believe I get a different mace if I want it. Morningstar.
Nice.
And another talisman. I'll have to see which talisman is better.
Cracked red eye orb.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, cracked red eye orbs would be a PvP item.
Oh, yeah.
They let you invade other players.
That's another thing I haven't gotten to do in this game, is, like, have other people invade and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think now that I'm better, I think I'd have more fun with it. But when I was learning, it would just have been annoying. It would have been one more thing that walked in and killed me.
Yes.
Like hundreds of things that walk in and kill me.
Yes, that's fair. Alright, so my mace appears to be better than the Morningstar,
the Morningstar has, like,
causes bleed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with just raw damage until it's not killing things anymore.
Bleed would be pretty good for boss fights, wouldn't it?
Yeah, bleed is really good, sort of a chip damage thing.
Yeah.
The bandit's knife is very good for that if you start as the thief.
Oh, cool.
It does very low damage, but has a high critical and high bleed.
Alright. Nice.
And so if you need to fight scary things...
Also, I was an idiot the first time I played this game. I decided that I was going to play a rogue with a parry dagger.
I see.
Which is not a good idea.
Yeah.
I had trouble fighting things with a sword and shield. I was like, no, I'm just going to learn the timing on the parry.
Yeah, that's a rough time.
Yeah, it was not good. So like a lot of my problems the first time I played through were like I was handicapping myself.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't playing offline and
Yeah.
And so I was sort of judging it based on like how you would judge other games.
Yes. See, and I've had friends with similar experiences where they went this way first.
Yeah.
And just went to the crypt and stuff and
yeah.
got all the way to Pinwheel and killed Pinwheel before they found out that they couldn't go that way anymore. And were very upset because that's a long time to commit to something before finding out you just have to backtrack through it and everyone's back alive. And
yeah. Well, that's the other thing, right?
problems.
Is like you're like I have to do all of this every time until you get to the teleportation ring, which really sort of opens the game up.
Yeah.
I kind of wish you started with it earlier, just because I think it would be.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever.
On that topic, there's one of the interesting changes they made to Dark Souls 2. You actually start with warp in that game.
Oh, cool. One of the things I like about the fact that it doesn't is like having to play through this area so many times the first time did make it feel a lot larger than it is.
It's true. Well, the design of this area was actually very well done, where everything was very interconnected.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really like that. Like the first time I played this, I was reviewing it, and so like I didn't just go here. Like I went here, and I went to the crypts, and I found the guys with the everlasting fireballs and the respawning skeletons, and said, "Fuck this place." So I left, and then I went to the ghost place with the ghosts in the walls that you can't kill, and then they float in, and when they kill you, you lose half your life. And I was like, oh, well that also sucks. Well, not lose half your life, but you need to be cursed, right?
Yeah.
I was like, that also sucks, and I was like, well, what the fuck do I do? And I finally found the right way. And I still wasn't good at the game, so. I think the first time, the farthest I got was like... I killed the gargoyles. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I started clearing out the ghost town with curses. but then I got just worked. I went through this one hallway where like 4 scythy ghost arms came out of the walls.
Oh, yes.
And I was like,
I believe I know exactly which hallway you mean.
Yeah, probably. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And I wrote my review, and I was very sad about it. It feels weird, though. Like, going back in time, and... Well, not going back in time, but, like, reading reviews I wrote, like...
Yeah.
I was like, I'd never write that now.
Yeah. I'm kind of pushing my luck exploring this as
Yeah,
much as
yeah.
I am. I'm kind of deciding I don't need to do this anymore.
I was like, you're getting pretty far. Like, those big skeletons are pretty hard to kill.
Yeah. Especially when surrounded by smaller ones.
Yeah, and when you have, like, a starting weapon.
Yeah. It's actually pretty
decent?
well suited for dealing with skeletons, since
Yeah.
it's, I find the piercing and slashing sort of weapons don't crumble them.
Yeah.
But if you hit them with, like, a good solid blunt impact, they, like, sort of scatter apart.
Yeah, I could see that. One of the other things I like is that, like, most of the weapons in this game aren't, like... There aren't really any useless weapons.
Yeah, there's just different styles of weapons and
Yeah.
different things that they're superior against.
And you can get legendary swords, but they're not going to be, like, that much better than the other ones until you upgrade them a whole bunch.
Yeah, exactly. It's mostly about the different attack patterns that work for you.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about this a lot.
Killing those skeletons gave me enough souls to buy some more life.
Yeah, I'm definitely not nearly as good at this as you. I would have died on the big skeleton.
Alright, but it's about time to start moving on and actually starting the game proper.
And so does the real Dark Souls experience begin.
Oh.
The first time I played through this the second time, wow, that sounds weird. I died at this part here on that first skeleton because I wasn't used to the game anymore.
Yeah.
And I almost just quit. I was like, I remember this now.
These guys are working me over.
Yeah. Firebomb. This is actually a really good part here, like this whole setup.
Yeah.
One of the things I really love is like this. It does feel like I didn't notice this before until I was watching Yahtzee, and I was like, this does sound a lot like. This does look a lot like a Castlevania game now that I think about it.
Yeah. Well, it works very similar too with like a Metroidvania where it's all interconnected backtracking and you
Nice.
you don't like acquire powers that you need to progress in the game later, but you do like acquire like your own skill and strength, which you need to progress in the game later.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things. Is like it actually makes you, the player, get better in order to play it, which sounds like it should be obvious, but is not exactly.
Yeah, like the skeletal graveyard there is a perfect example. It's designed to be sort of too hard for
Newbies.
you to start with, but when you finally do go there, the skeletons at the beginning aren't any trouble because you've dealt with everything else.
And just like learning like basic attack patterns like slash, middle slash, and like rolling and blocking and how the endurance thing works. And
Yeah.
even just getting some extra health is good.
Yeah.
Little fucking rats.
Mm-hmm. He's coming with me for a bit, I guess.
He's hailing you.
So a lot of the things I've picked up I might never use, but I just have a compulsive need to pick things up.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, it makes sense. People would probably be upset if we just walked by things we knew were there.
Yeah. Some might. Some are the opposite.
Yep. Why are you stopping to pick up the things? Actually, this is something I wanted to talk about. I've been thinking about this for a while because I've been trying to think, like, sort of figure out how to make things accessible to large groups of people. And so, like, obviously something that comes up is, like, lowest common denominator, right?
Yeah.
But when people use it, I'm not sure I think they think it's, like, a bad word or something.
Mm.
Like, it's like, this game is just designed to tout the lowest common denominator, and that can be bad. I mean, people use it in connection with Michael Bay films because they think everyone likes explosions.
Mm.
That's what lowest common denominator means, right? It's like the thing that we have in common that can be used to communicate with lots of people. And people say that just everyone likes explosions, and so Michael Bay films, which are nice and flashy and have sex and explosions, are going to be pandering to the lowest common denominator. But that only holds true as long as that's what everyone likes.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, it's hard to tell what that is.
Exactly. These guys are really keen to ambush me.
They're really sneaky too. But I mean, and yeah, it is true. A lot of us like like explosions and sex, and it's hard to find anyone who doesn't like at least one of those two things.
It's
But that
true.
doesn't mean there aren't other things that still unite us.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all born at some point. We feel skin and heat and things, most of us.
Most of us.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing about humanity. We're a varied group, and that's what makes us strong. But also, we're very. It's hard for us to communicate sometimes. So, lowest common denominator can be a good thing because then it unites people.
Mm-hmm. Also, there is so much variety in a given person.
Exactly.
It can be very difficult to.
Find the something that's always going to be good for people all the time.
There's nothing you can do that will be like it'll work for every single person every single time. That just doesn't exist.
Exactly. So I don't think like I think it's kind of like a term that we've been using. Like everyone knows what you mean when you say lowest common denominator. Like everyone likes dragons.
Yeah, everybody.
But I think they also use it as like something that's bad, and I don't think necessarily it is. I think it can be like anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like attempting to appeal to a diverse group of people is not inherently wrong.
Yeah, and it's also very difficult to do.
Yeah.
But I also think that doesn't mean you have to just be really generic. I think
Yeah.
like you can be specific at the same time because
That's
we've
true.
all undergone like, and you don't have to hit everyone is the thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
just because you want to hit a large group of people doesn't mean it needs to appeal to 100% of people because you're never gonna get that ever in your life
Yeah.
unless you're like a cheesecake that you don't gain weight from eating and also it's not lactose. You know, never mind. It's not like cheesecake at all. But I don't think it's about it. I had a point. I lost it like a minute ago.
Yeah, it's okay. It'll circle back around.
Yeah, I figure eventually.
Dark Souls is a good example of designing with a specific goal and audience in mind.
Yeah. Oh, I got it. Okay. Let's roll with that in a second. I'm gonna do this. This take like a second. But like, you don't have to make it. You can just take a truth from a specific perspective, as long as you're honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. What's that? Do we even need the keys? Like, 'cause
No.
we have the master key, right?
Yeah, I don't need that key he has. Considering buying a shield.
Are there any ones that have 100% damage reduction?
Yeah, this is a pretty good one.
Why don't we try to get the one shield from those dudes?
The one shield from those dudes.
The only guys wielding shields, the heater shields. Or sorry, whatever those.
Hollow soldier shield.
A hollow soldier shield, yeah.
I think this one's actually better for this point in the game.
Yeah.
It has 55 stability. It's got 2 weight,
Okay.
full block, 70% fire.
Let's do it.
Taking it. And then I personally like throwing knives a whole lot. Not 60
Not
throwing
not
knives,
that much.
but 30 throwing knives would be good.
Thank you, Cat.
There's just a lot of opportunity in this game where hitting that guy for like one tap at a distance
Mm-hmm.
can really save you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I can pull one guy by hitting him with a throwing knife and not run into a room. That can be a big deal.
I guess, yeah. I've never actually, like, taken it to that depth of strategy. Usually I just run in and kill all the things.
That's fair.
That's also why I die more, though.
See, like, I could potentially just whip a knife at this guy.
And I mean, there's even things that are specific that, I mean, have some basis in being LCD. Like I'm watching, right now, Louis C.K. I think
Yep.
I mentioned him earlier. And I'm watching Louis, and I fucking love that show. It's hilarious. And not because, I mean, the humor is pretty good. But what I like so much about it is it's really, really honest about the things. Like, it's like, this is how I see the world. These are my thoughts. They're not necessarily the right thoughts, and so a lot of the time I'm wrong. And, like, taking that approach, no, more throwing knives.
Yeah. Perfect.
It can be. I think that's how you tell a true story in a world as disparate as ours.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't even
makes
know that
sense.
existed.
Am I blowing your mind more?
Yeah, I'm finding all these things I didn't know were there.
Yeah. I've played through the first part of this game a number of times just to mess around with different builds
Classes and stuff. Yeah.
Trying to force things like playing using only a bow.
And like, and then some people will be like, well, then what about people who just like being cruel to other people? Do we appeal to them in the lowest common denominator? I don't know. Is that true for you? Really? If it is, then yes. But that, I think part of the problem is that a lot of the time when we create media, it's sort of, it's hard to display other people properly, you know?
I didn't actually equip my shield yet. There we go. So I've taken my shirt off.
I am never interesting.
To handle the weight issue that I was building up to.
Ah, okay.
Dark Souls has a interesting encumbrance thing. You'll see my equipment load, which is currently at 12 out of 50.
Mm-hmm.
If you are at 1/4 or less, you are no encumbrance, and then you get progressively more encumbered, which leads to slower stamina regeneration, slower rolls,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Hanging out at 1/4 encumbrance is a pretty ideal place to be.
Seems like it.
And losing the shirt isn't a big deal because it offers very little in the way of protection anyways.
Yep. Plus now you kind of look like a monk.
Yeah, a little bit more.
I'm like, Louis' episode, like the show itself, Louis, isn't like really it's like about this guy who's a comedian, him like learning how to be a comedian and learning about fatherhood. And you would think that would be very difficult for like a lot of people to relate to. But I mean, we all have a lot of the same problems living within a culture. I think what can be really difficult is doing like cross-cultural LCD, which is even harder. Yeah, that guy's shield.
Yeah. Hollow Soldier Shield.
I love the kick, but I don't know how many times I've like screwed up the timing on it and just sort of like slashed forward.
Yeah. That's definitely easy to do. Alright, well, I'll take that trade.
I like neither of us have played Faith characters, but I like having the like additional heals just
Yeah.
sort of like banked.
Well, and they seem to be a lot stronger than the starting Estus, so
Yeah.
I'm sort of waiting for an opportunity to use them when it would be necessary. But the fact that they're there is very, very reassuring.
Yeah, especially it's gonna be like later on.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're pretty decent in this game, so you could probably do longer stretches without having to go back to a fire. So it'll be even more useful then.
Yeah.
Ah! Nice.
Thank you.
You know what I always wondered was weird? You know when this guy rolls and breaks through boxes?
Yep.
That's gotta hurt like a bitch.
Yeah, you'd think that'd be like splinters or...
Yeah. I mean, I know he's undead, but we take damage from, like, getting nicked by things.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. Like, diving headfirst into a barrel with enough force to shatter it into a bajillion pieces.
Seems like it might break a shoulder.
You'd think you'd have some trouble, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we just sort of, like, at his wrist. Doesn't even aim it. It's
Yeah.
a fucking cocky use.
It's a fun way to play the game. You just sort of,
I remember I was playing a game where, like, oh yeah, Isaac from fucking Dead Space. That motherfucker never holds his gun with two hands. Like his cutter is like he just holds it with one hand out in front of him like this. But his aim never wavers. It's ridiculous.
He's got like the steadiest hand.
The steadiest hand in fucking history.
The strongest arms of all time.
It was like, yeah, and like that happened. There was like one gun I thought he should use two hands with. He ended up using one. I was like, I don't know how you're doing this, Isaac, but I'm impressed.
So this is the gold pine resin. It is extremely useful to get early on.
If you did electric damage?
Yeah, it coats your weapon with electrical damage. It's
How long do those last?
not terribly long, but generally long enough for one boss fight.
Okay.
It is extremely useful against the gargoyles. Because by that time, like, they don't stack with other elements, or even with themselves.
Yeah.
So if you have a weapon that already has an effect, like bleed or poison or fire or whatever it does,
yeah,
it won't stack with that.
Okay.
But usually by the time you're fighting the gargoyles for the first time, you don't have anything like that.
That makes sense.
So it's just a really good way to sort of augment your odds on the very first boss. It's challenging.
All right. One of the things too is they've done a really good job of making the the enemies feel like they're actually wielding stuff.
Yeah, I'd agree. How much does this weigh? 3 pounds. How much does this weigh? 0.7. Alright. I can cough everything up for the helmet.
Is it worth it?
Yes. The helmet gives me 5 poise, which is the only stat I really care about.
Our cleric's just naked with a helmet.
Yeah.
We're coming for you, Black Knight.
I think we will go for the Black Knight. Just because.
I get hit by that barrel at least once.
Yeah.
Because it only comes once.
Yeah. This is what I mean when I say the traps are somewhat telling us you're paying attention. Because if you like
look up, you can
come to
see
this point and look over there, you'll see the guy at his barrel, and you're like, all right, dude's got a barrel. And then if you come up to about here, he'll light it on fire and kick it down at you.
Yeah.
Giving you just enough time to get out of the way.
Well, there's some traps are like that, but then there's like the one trap in the temple guarded by the snake people, with the boulders that roll around.
Oh yes.
There's one hallway where like it's just like if you walk through the hallway, it's just boulder. And there's probably like a warning there if you actually have the things on, but if you don't, there's.
I think that. Yeah, I think that one actually is just like that. There's a little lizard in this thing that drops a bunch of
Stuff.
Titanite for very late game times.
Yum yum yum.
Am I gonna fight the boss first?
You have
There's 3 enemies around here that I want to fight that are all difficult.
There's the dude with the giant black penis. There's the
Yes, the dragon
Minotaur.
fang mace.
And then
There's the Taurus demon, and then there's the Black Knight.
Yeah. This is a nice little challenge area.
Yeah, Pavel is the name of the
Yeah.
guy with the dragon fang.
He doesn't even swing that at you. He just sort of aims it and drops it.
Yeah, you just get bludgeoned.
I didn't know you could do that.
It's very handy.
Seems like it. You have a humanity.
I do. I picked it up from the soul of one of the undead that I was fighting earlier. You have a chance to randomly get them that way.
Whee! And I was farming them. I was killing rats and not. That's a pretty decent way to do it.
Yeah.
I was in the painted world.
Yes.
It's a pretty good place to farm rats and stuff.
It's a good start on the Taurus demon.
Lol.
Oh,
Knee smasher!
just get out from under your groin there for a second. Knee Smasher has a pretty low stamina bar. We're gonna need to work on that.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, when you're like, every other game I've played, this would be a really different boss fight.
Indeed.
I really like the fact that they use the Havoc system so well.
I want to bring this guy forward a little bit more. Because that one empty spot on the bridge, I've got a track record of getting knocked off there.
Okay. Yeah, I always just, like, do the thing where you climb up over and over again. That's how I beat this guy.
I usually use that just the once.
That's probably a good idea. Because he catches on after a while.
He ends up joining you up there.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's great up there. You're doing all this damage. Like, if this was God of War, how do you think this fight would go? You just, like...
Quick time events.
Yeah, probably. Smash at him for a little while, and then quick time events.
My stamina come back.
That's the other thing, too, is, like, I actually sort of feel sometimes when I'm playing this like I'm actually fighting someone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, planning moves ahead and, like, positioning myself. And...
Ugh.
It was really weird. I think the first time I saw this, I didn't know this was the game I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that. I mean, I've been waiting my entire life for like a tactical fighter with like RPG elements in an open world where you actually have to fight things.
Yeah.
And then when I got it, I was like, this is fucking dumb. Where's my QTEs?
Excellent.
Nice.
Don't get killed by them falling on me.
Does that happen?
I've been pushed off before from that. Yes.
Okay. Makes sense. Victory achieved.
Excellent. Get my little things.
You gonna?
I'm
You
gonna
should
go
drop
back
the shortcut.
You're totally correct. I should do that first.
That's the other thing too, is like how this place is designed with shortcuts. I'm gonna cringe now that I've thought of it. Every time he fucking flips into a barrel, I'm gonna cringe a little bit.
All right.
It's so.
I suppose I could get the wipe soapstone.
Drop the thing first.
I need to not get burned by the dragon, actually.
Yep. Oh, right. I thought it was on the other side.
He is on the other side after that.
No, I mean,
Oh,
like,
you mean the
door.
shortcut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate fighting this guy.
I just usually don't. It's more effort than it's worth.
Yeah, it's... when I restarted this, they'd gotten rid of the glitch that insta-kills him. And I tried to fight him a few times, and he just kept spamming fire over and over again. I was like, fuck it.
Yes. As he's wont to do.
Whee!
Excellent.
You want a Kindle? Or not even bother?
I wouldn't be able to kindle. I'd have to reverse hollowing first.
Oh, right, you need to. All of the things I forget.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still playing this game, which makes me feel weird. I've forgotten them. Endurance.
I'm going to keep bumping up faith and attunement at random times just to make sure when I do find stuff I want to use it on,
Yeah, that makes sense.
it's available for me.
A little vitality. Strength. I forgot how many things you can level up with like a small amount of souls early on.
Yeah, at the beginning of the game, you just like have a couple thousand, you're just good to go.
I wish anyone had ever warned me.
Yeah. Eventually, you just like, no matter how many, it's not enough.
Yeah, because when I started off, I was like, oh, I'll get my Black Knight start up to 50 and I'll start, or 40 and or my strength so I can wield it. Up to 40 so I can, and I'll start in every other stat. And that was a bad idea because that went very poorly. Because it took so many levels to just to get my health to a place where I wouldn't get one-shotted by like...
There's something really satisfying
Chaos.
about the casual hip-fired crossbow bolt.
Yeah, there really is. I also like how no one seems really into the fighting. Like they do, but like someone gets hit, they're like, oh.
They seem like really tired.
Yeah. Well, there probably are. Like, this is sort of like a nightmare landscape, quite honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I think about like what's going on in here, and I'm like, this really sucks. Because I mean, I hated fighting the same guys over and over again when I sucked at the game and couldn't get past any part. I can't imagine how this guy feels.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, whatever you're playing as, he just deals with a lot of crap.
Yeah. And like, do you think these are the same guys resurrected over and over again? So he's like running across the bridge and he's like, hey Frank, hey Bill, I gotta stab you in the face again. All right.
Yeah.
See you in about
It's like,
20 minutes.
crap, not this guy again.
Shit!
He always just maces me in the knees. Screams knee smasher while he does it. I don't understand. I'm not a fan, though.
Knee smasher! It's not friendly. You always wonder, like, why didn't they name their kid, like, Hugmaster or something? Or the Cuddle Fiend. Although that would be kind of creepy, too.
I would not want to deal with somebody trying to kill me named the Cuddle Fiend.
Like, I love cuddles, but I think it would be weird if, like, someone just sort of, like, came up and was like, ha-ha!
Yeah, that's something I don't want to have to deal with out of the context that it's friendly and safe.
Exactly. Because if you deal with someone cuddling you out of the context of being friendly and safe, they're literally just maybe choking you. I don't know. Or, like, bear hugging
It just
you.
seems scary.
Yeah. Who are you? Why are you in my house at night?
Just kick that guy a few times. Me making my case for throwing knives.
No, guys, they're totally really good. They are.
Believe me.
I tend to think the spells are better, but that's definitely like if you're doing a non-spell build.
Yeah.
Definitely throwing
Well,
knives.
the thing that's nice about them is they're 10 souls, I believe, per throwing knife. So you can just buy like 100 and not even think twice about it.
You can just buy throwing knives. I've never been able to successfully sneak up on him though, except as a rogue, and that didn't help very much.
Yeah. Then you're just like, well, I'm still dead, but at least I got a first hit.
Yeah.
Alright.
That was my parry rogue, that's why it didn't go well.
Yeah. I believe that. Oh, that's not good.
I hate when that happens. It reminds
Came
me
up
of-
short.
I was playing Ninja Gaiden Black the first time, and I was just like on the final boss, and I'd been playing the final. The way the checkpoint system worked was that like it would just
Taking your
checkpoint
ring.
whenever. Nice. And I didn't know you had your shield in.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes I use it,
and it
just not frequently.
checkpointed right before the final boss, and I didn't have anything. There was no merchant. I had like nothing. All I had was a health bar and my casts. And it took me forever to try to beat that guy because Ninja Gaiden Black's pretty difficult.
I believe it, yeah.
And I almost had him. He had one hit left, and I'd been playing for hours. And I threw, and I was like, I'm just gonna jump slash him. So I like swooped in and went to do a jump slash, and came down like an inch in front of his face. I was like, Ryu has to pull his sword out of the ground. And so I knew I was dead. That is rude!
Yeah.
Even though I do that too.
That's basically their modus operandi, is just not
rude.
care. This is not going to work. Oh, it did just barely. No, actually it didn't heal me because it didn't use the spell. I just lived slightly.
Yeah, I just kind of lived.
Alright, fine. I guess I have to beat him with this much life. Spoiler alert, I don't believe it works.
What?
That I beat him with this much life.
Spoiler alert! Actually, you could just come back to this point and we could just edit anything you want to say into this.
That's true.
So, like, think of a thing. Think of, like, a really weird prediction, and then we'll make it happen later. And then we'll just edit it in over this part of us saying that we're going to do it.
Excellent.
And the question is, do we leave this part in, or do we actually do that? Because if we do it, no one's going to get the joke.
Oh,
that sucks.
yeah, you got me. Well, I took his ring.
Got your ring, motherfucker.
Maybe I'll come back to him later.
Alright, so that's probably good for the first section of Dark Souls. We're gonna regroup and try to take out the Black Knight again. This is Trivial Punk.
And this is Boris the Illithid.
And we'll see you on the other side.